is up, NERF Nation? I'm Naptown NERF, and this is an unboxing and review of the Mediator attachment. This is the barrel attachment and the stock attachment. Both pretty darn cool attachments I'm pretty excited for. I was not able to obtain the actual Mediator blaster as they did not sell it at Meijer when I picked these up. And they had it on Amazon for a while, but now it's not on Amazon, and I'm not sure why that is. But I'm not really all that excited for the actual blaster. I'm way more excited for the attachments. So we're going to do a review on these, and then if I get my hands on the blaster, we'll do that at a later date. So let's check these out. Alright, so we'll start out with the barrel attachment. This is a pretty cool blaster and attachment because it is going to have a stored air tank in here. So you'll pump up the handle and then be able to fire the darts. And NERF has not done this in quite a while, so this is pretty exciting that they're bringing back the stored air tank, and hopefully this will have some pretty sweet mod potential. That will probably be coming down the road, a little mod guide for this thing, but let's go ahead and check out the rest of the box and see if there's anything they're claiming ranges. I do not see any range claims on the blaster here, but as you can see, the barrel that you would shoot your main blaster through is here, and then this can be taken off. This can pull up and be used as a handle, so this is an actual separate blaster by itself. So that's pretty cool. This is the Mediator blaster, which is basically a Retaliator but shrunken, which is pretty cool. I think it's a neat design that they've taken that and made it a lot smaller. I think that's cool. And then obviously this is the stock, which I'll go over that box in 2 seconds. But one thing I've noticed about this is they've changed the color again. Now they went from like a royal blue color with the Regulator, and now this is more of a teal blue, which is cool, but I guess they just can't make up their mind, so nothing's going to match in the Modulus line, which I really don't understand why the Modulus blasters have all these different colors going on. It's very confusing to me. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and look at the stock attachment box now. So, the stock attachment looks really cool. It actually looks like it's very long, which is awesome. And it has a blaster that's stored inside the stock, which is really, really cool. This is basically like a double strike from the Zombie Strike line blaster. The back basically is the same as the previous box, but it's showing you how this stores in the stock there, and actually will store 2 darts up front here, so that's pretty neat too. And then have a sling attachment. So it's a really cool looking stock, and I'm pretty excited for it. And then look up here, you can also use this as a holster, so that's pretty dope, pretty awesome. And let's go ahead and get these things out of the box. Alright, I'm going to do this quick and dirty and just do it right here. There we go. Pretty cool. Now let's get this stock out of the box. So there you go. There's your stock and your blaster. So pretty interesting. Alright, so these things look pretty cool. I think they're very cool looking attachments, very futuristic. I really like the look of them. And they're both something new that we haven't seen before, so that's pretty cool. Or at least something we haven't seen in a while. And I think they're neat. I don't really care for the fact they haven't been painted on this side. They even have a stripe on this one that looks like it should have been painted, and it hasn't, and they didn't paint the NERF logo on this side. At least they did paint the NERF logo on this side, so I don't really understand why sometimes they choose to paint, sometimes they don't. It really doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. They painted the NERF, they didn't paint the Modulus. You know, it baffles me. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Just expect your blasters to only be painted on one side. So let's go ahead and start with the shotgun blast air tank front barrel attachment, which is pretty neat, and I'm pretty excited about this one. It is an stored air tank, so you would pump this up. It says 6 times, but I have a feeling that you can probably pump it up more than that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like about 10 or so. I don't really hear an overpressure valve go, but you can just tell that you can't put any more pumps into it, so that's pretty cool. And then we will fire. Might as well, since it's not attached, we'll go ahead and we push this button here, and that will let the handle go back. So now it can be used as a blaster, and then this button right here will fire it. So we'll go ahead and fire it off. And that's pretty cool. That thing has pretty good power for shooting 3 darts at once. Pretty impressed with that. That's pretty awesome. So that thing can go down, and then obviously you can attach that to a blaster. So we'll grab the regulator here and we'll attach it to the front. So that's how that looks. Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, the blues do not match up, which is kind of unfortunate. And really the only blaster that the paint's going to match up with is the Mediator. So don't really understand that, especially since these are being sold separately. And the Modulus line is all about, you know, being modular and being able to use things with other things. So don't really get why they keep changing that paint, but I've harped on that enough. That looks pretty cool on the regulator, but we'll go ahead and throw the stock on here just to give a complete look. That is a very long blaster, and actually probably way too long to be used with this stock, with this blaster, because most kids, I can't even hardly reach this thing, and most kids aren't going to be able to either. So something to think about. But the normal stock that comes on the regulator, this guy here, I'm sure that would be just fine if you want to use it like that. So pretty cool. I really do like that, and the look of it is just really neat. I'm pretty excited for the mod potential of this thing, but I think it is pretty good for what it's designed to do, which is basically if someone's charging you to shoot that 3-round burst at them, and one of those darts is going to hit them and tag them out. So it's kind of just an emergency style thing, which is pretty awesome. I'm not sure how effective it would be to run by itself, but it's something you can do if you just want to goof off and have fun. So that's pretty neat. I do think that's a pretty cool looking attachment there. Let's go ahead and throw it on a Stryfe just to see how that looks. So there we go. That looks pretty cool. It's a little big for the Stryfe, really. I mean, the Stryfe isn't the most prone to taking front barrel attachments, but I think with the stock on there, we'll go ahead and might as well throw this guy on there. What? Are you kidding me? The stock does not attach to the Stryfe. Wow. Way to go, Hasbro. Way to go. I mean, that is not locking on at all. It's not, it doesn't work. Doesn't work, guys. That's pretty sad that that does not attach. That's a big problem. I don't even know how they messed that up. This part here being a separate piece, that should work with every NERF attachment there is out there. There should be no issues. But there obviously is. So, not the best start for the stock review, but we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit here. It is very cool that they've added a blaster into the back of a stock. I think that's pretty neat. I'm not 100% sold on the comfort of it. It is going to dig into your arm there a little bit. So it's probably not something I would choose as a stock if I didn't absolutely need that blaster inside of there, or feel like I needed that extra blaster inside of there. But it's not as bad as it could be. I just feel like over a long day of play that could get a little annoying, and it's mainly the top portion here. They have rubberized this back part, so that helps out a little bit, but it still digs in a little bit to my shoulder. So not the best, but it's kind of hard to make it super comfortable considering how they have a blaster obviously going in the back. So I kind of give them a break there. I think it's okay, but it's just not something I would probably go with for me personally. Definitely a cool looking stock. It is a bit long for probably some people, and it's a little wobbly actually on this blaster, and the length of it I know will be too long for a lot of kids. So just know that it's a very long stock and may not be super comfortable if you're a shorter nerfer. But if you're a bigger nerfer, this may be something that you think is really cool. So, but that being said, we'll go ahead and take it off here and show you how you can attach it actually to your hip here. So you can put this, it has a belt clip that can be attached, which is pretty neat. Just go ahead and throw that over the belt. So there we go. Pretty cool. And then you can just use it as a holster. So that's pretty neat. pretty awesome there that they've done that. And then we'll go ahead and pull the blaster out and talk about it a little bit. They have added a NERF in-strike attachment rail on top, which is pretty cool. I don't know how necessary that is, but it's definitely fun. You could throw a big scope on there probably and just make it look ridiculous. So that would be pretty humorous. And then the hammer prime is not bad. It's actually a reasonably tough prime. I don't know if this is performing better or worse than the double strike, but it is definitely got a decent amount of pop there, it seems like. So yeah, that's got some decent power, pretty cool. The hammer is a bit sharp on the corners, but it doesn't bother me too much. It's not something that I'm going to be using like a ton, so comfort for these things aren't like really important, but it is reasonably comfortable. That may just get on some people's nerves a little bit. The grip though is very comfortable. I do like the grip. It is slightly angled back, which I think is pretty cool, and I think it looks pretty cool too. It's a very nice, sleek looking little double shot pistol there, so pretty cool. Also not painted on this side if you didn't notice. So that's that. Let's go ahead and take the blasters and I'll fire them off. I cannot show you a firing demo right now because the weather is really terrible outside. It's been that way for a while. It's really cold. There's snow on the ground. It's wet. It's gross. But I will try to get you an average range, and if I can get some FPS data, then I will let you know that too. Alright, well, I have some good news. I was able to get this to work with the Stryfe, but it is not ideal. But once you get it on there, it'll be very secure. So you have to kind of hold it tight and then pull up manually on the tabs, which is kind of hard to do. So not the way it's supposed to be done, but it does work, which is good. So you can use it with your Stryfe, and then once it's on there, it's actually very stable, which I did not find it to be very stable on the other blasters I put it on. So maybe that it's going to vary a little bit on what blaster you use it on, but with the Stryfe, you kind of have to, you know, force it on there per se. So that will work. Okay, blasters. This guy does get very normal performance for like a double strike. Top barrel was getting about 62 feet per second in that range, and then the bottom barrel was the like middle to upper 50s, which is pretty standard and kind of what I expected. Ranges were around 40 feet or so. Decent range for kind of a backup pistol for stock performance, you know. And the hammer pull down is pretty stiff. It's pretty sturdy there, but I'm sure you could add a spacer to it, do your normal double strike mods or hammer shot mod, you know, anything with this kind of hammer prime to boost up that performance slightly. So very happy with this blaster. It seemed to work just fine. Now to the Mediator Barrel Attachment. This is really cool. So I don't think I mentioned this, but I probably should have. This will fire just one dart. If you want to just load one dart in there, it will just fire one. If you load two, it will fire two, and if you load three, it will fire all three. So that is something to be noted. I was getting mid-60s for the FPS with this. That was shooting all three darts, so I'm not sure how reliable that FPS reading is, because when I actually only put one dart in it, I wasn't getting anything to register, which is really strange. But it may have been because it actually gets lower FPS when you only shoot one dart. I don't know. I'd have to test it out outside to really get a good feel for that. But I think that's about right. Ranges with all three darts were around 30 to 35 feet. So pretty good range for a shotgun blast, I think. And definitely pretty darn good performance for what this is and what it's supposed to do. So very happy with this blaster and attachment. I think it's pretty darn cool. I'm pretty excited about this. And it is very ergonomic. The grip, pumping it is very easy to do. You could put, you know, as few as 5 or 6 shots or pumps in it and get a good shot off, or you could, you know, pump it all the way up, and obviously you can do that prior to, and then just have the button there to fire. So pretty cool blaster and very useful for a front barrel attachment, extra shot kind of a thing. So I think these are decent attachments. Now that I got this to work, I think it's all right. It's pretty long, so I wouldn't use it with a really long blaster like the Regulator or something like that, at least if I was a smaller nerfer. And even for me, it was personally a little long for that, but for the Stryfe, it's actually not bad. The comfort of it is not the greatest, I'll be honest there. It's not the greatest, but that's kind of to be expected. It does hold the blaster in there really nicely if you put it in the right direction. So that's cool. I think they're very neat attachments, I think they, you know, are worth a purchase. Now, I'm still not completely sold on the stock. I think it's cool looking, but I think the comfort is going to keep me from using it, to be honest. But I may try to modify it, remove the blaster, modify it to make it just a really cool looking long stock, and take the blaster part out of it, because I don't see myself ever really pulling the blaster out when using this as a stock. That's just me, though. Definitely a cool gimmick and a cool thing for, I think, kids, and I do think it's a neat idea. So hopefully I can get my hands on a Mediator and review that for you guys. Let me know if you'd like to see that. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review and unboxing of the Mediator attachments. Smash that like button. Please subscribe. And as always, peace out.